Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. This is vlog number 13 and this is uh, kind of giving you feedback on my end. I see there's a little bit more views than usual. It went from 1 to 10 to 10 to some of them have almost 50 views, so at least I'm not doing this for nothing, but I have other ideas. I have other uh, opened up dialogues with people, and to be more and more in tune with myself will give you guys a way to connect with me. And if you guys ask questions, there is other things that I can do to help you out and to be more assertive on some aspects of it, including my mental health. And who am I to give anybody any advice of life? Because let's face it, I live at the Salvation Army. I'm locked up for strict detention for something I didn't even commit or do, and all of this is started from listening to the bad instincts, the bad voices, making me do stupid things like kick down the door of a crack shack, which was not very, very ideal for me and the likelihood of getting my ass handed to me physically. Going to the airport and yelling bomb. What else did they make me do? Oh, they convinced me that since I talked out of turn that I was getting a bullet to the head. Waited for several hours until my neighbor came to do it and didn't realize that it wasn't happening. And other things like that. They had me convinced that I connected the whole entire world together, and that they were live streaming the hit for talking out of turn. And then they told me to go out to the front door and wait with your hands crossed on your knees, and like this. And I went ahead and did it, and things that may seem so surreal and so opportunistically improbable for somebody like me. Well, that's the thing. You're special too. And if you're reading this or listening to this or doing both and watching me try to make sense of it, well, you're welcome to my journey. And I have made a lot of progress since the beginning of it. And for all it's worth, I hope it reaches out to just one person. I'm not doing this to get clicks. I'm not doing this to get rich. I am doing this to help just one person to not make those choices. And if you do hear voices, then there's the protocol guide, which is an episode. I'll try to link it below. It's a protocol. First, you ask yourself, okay, are these voices inside? Are they through the walls? Or are they voices attached to somebody else's voice box or voice memory that you have inserted in your mind? And then you go in your quiet place with all the electronics unplugged. You make sure that you can breathe for about 10 minutes of deep, deep, deep meditation. And once you have that on lock, then you ask those voices to represent themselves. And if they cannot, they are demonic, and you have demons inside of you that need to be dealt with. And that's part of, the interconnection of the 12 steps, which is one thing that I have. I'm a recovering drug addict, and I have done so much effort and progress that it's just unsurmountable to be stuck in this place. And yesterday it did make me feel good to finally post a video outside. That's what it's going to be as soon as I get my conditions upgraded to current society and reintegrated, because I have been here for 4 months and now it's becoming a little long time wise. And it's this is my third time in here, and the first 2 times were voluntarily just to make sense of it, making sense of the pixelated prophecies of paradise for futures and contingency plans with talking to souls, being spiritually awoken, being spiritually one best self. And the thing that I see day in day out is the people that are in their reality, in their minds, and we all share the comment of our physical being represented and respected by other physical beings. And as soon as that disrespect line gets crossed, the beings that can convince you of doing things that are suicidal, that make you lose hope in life, that make you realize, okay, I need to take a good hard look at myself in the mirror. Or, if you have the internal conflict of literally talking to yourself in public without using your inside voice, or not giving a crap of other people might think it's a psychosis or you have mental health issues. Well, guess what? We're not perfect, and I feel that with a lot of this, we can feel it through it and pull together and make sure that, hey, life is not just one giant coincidence, and it's all synchronized for your rhythm and for your personal healing. And every day you're healing into a better version of yourself, and if you keep at it, good things will happen. And if you, by luck, if some of this applies to you, then go ahead, reach out and ask me a question in the comment. I'm more than open to give you some segues into and some context if you need some. But in all of it, I think I am missing a lot of context. So if you do guys start off in this episode, well, my name is Mike. I'm 34 years old. I'm from Montreal. And I have been doing this for the last 2 years, journaling. And my life has been giant spiritual synchronized coincidences, one after the other. And I used to be an athlete. I have siblings up in Quebec. I have family a bit everywhere. I am also United States American citizen, and I am bilingual. And that was one of my hopes, that if I do this both in English and French, it is twice the work, but not really. It just makes me have a bigger audience because, let's face it, we're in Quebec, and in Quebec we speak French, tabarnak. So I feel I touched a lot on myself, personal schizophrenia diagnose. And what is weird about it, I'm so unique and uncommon that the rarity of having said case, so to speak, because it is the Supreme Court of Quebec that decided to put me in this place for X amount of time, and to have a hearing that was meant for June 25th. And a couple of days before, I hear that I have a new attorney that is on vacation, so it got pushed back to the 22nd of this month. And now I feel that extra month is there for a reason, for me to be sure and in my mind, and quite obviously get more rested. So I might pump out a bunch more videos. I much prefer sleeping at night and then being hardly woken up. Last night was one of those nights that I did sleep very well, but I was continuously REMing myself into conscious states and lucidly moving and taking decisions, and always, every time I get pulled out right when some conscious overshift, I like to call it, makes it seem so improbable and unrealistic that it actually starts happening, and then boom, I wake up. And to be in those meditative trance and your frequency aligned with the others around you, not necessarily in a verbal way, but just chill beings being chill and chillaxed. And then you have the frequency of the air, the humidity in your pores, and you feel everything just so intuitional, and it's instinct to just fall back asleep. So I try to do that, and at 2 a.m, waking up back at 3, then 4:30, then 6:30, then 7. I had 4 really alternative realities and mindsets to figure out what else can happen. So I'm always pushing the bounds. I had 2 deja vus today, and one of them was after swimming, and I hope to also film more outside because, love is light and light is life and life is to be lived. And if I can share my experiences and my context with others, and, if you want to laugh at me for thinking I'm an Illuminati, well, let's just think before asking that question or casting judgment. Do you know what Illuminati is? And if you think that is it, don't you think other people believe they are too, for spiritualism or nonfiction or fictional or a cabal, a shadow government? Is it power of the elite? Is it supreme containment, so to speak? Is it a touch by God's hand to be a messenger? Is it something that is so absolutely out of this world, being able to explain it so basic? It's a resonance basically, and they're not controllers to decoders. And if you decode some part of your masterpiece that is your life, and in any way it could be a sick tragedy masterpiece, because it's kind of tragic what's happened to me in the ways that I believe that my synchronized manifestation was a direct result to what was being lived in the spiritual realms of realness. And then you have the ultra terrestrials that materialize and dematerialize, and they can materialize into orbs or materialize into physical matter, into physical light, into seeing. And it's easy for a doctor to diagnose you as schizophrenia than to believe that the one and only unique quality that I have is my continuity to pull myself up by the bootstraps and remain grounded at all times, with both feet. And if you shift one's consciousness into a reality that is just by indulging their fantasy of what is Illuminati, maybe they have also the necessary qualities mentally and socially to trek on forward, and to be in a position that I'm sharing my journey, my experiences, without context, of course, but sometimes context will be needed, because I believe that humor is the best medium to fill all the gaps in the bridge that have collapsed throughout the years and the years in of misinterpreting and misdiagnose some of the special people, beyond impressionable spiritual minds that you just embrace the wrong aspect of it and take it cash to hand and straight from the bank with no altered plan B, so to speak. So I'm feeling I am not torn. I feel united. I feel the love. I feel the unanimity of it. And me having to ask the respect of using the Illuminati name in all subject, context, and matter. It is all authorized by what is truly Illuminati, and it's an enlightened world, and it's unusually unlighted by some of the most brilliant minds that just have given up or have lost faith, or the dreamers to stop dreaming, or the envisioners to stop visioning, and the people with the most absolutely unusual and unorthodox way of thinking think that it's a bunch of magicians doing illusions. And no, that's delusions that can take into hallucination. And if you believe that I'm hallucinating all the orbs, well, I have certain times and ways to make it appear whenever on command, on will, and I'm willing to share those with you guys, but with respect of them trying to out themselves and being locked up as a basic subsequent reaction to what I was sharing. My mental health has always been grounded, but what I shared was in a way lack of expressive means. So I talk about all these supernatural things that are happening to me, and the doctors believe, okay, well, that's what he's living right now, and I never autocorrect them, so I get locked up. And this is my third time being locked in psych ward, and every time I look at my crystal ball, and just like the Eminem song, and I try to see the future, but I am the future in a way. and I am willing to give all my ideas and all my concepts and some of my basic notions of physics and quantum mechanics. It's mind blowing just to have access to the collective consciousness and become hyperly intelligent just on the whim, and to be able to express yourself and to dedicate things that need to be dedicated to certain people. Because if you're still watching and some of these silly thoughts have resonated with you, and it made you think, well, yeah, they're asking me to do missions, and they made me believe that I did this, or they alter memories, and you think you woken up and you drank last night, and you wake up, you think you killed somebody because you're soaking wet and there's blood, but no, you just hit a deer. And the way that they go about doing their business, those are the things that were meant for the protocol. There's more questions to be asked of them than to you. And if you have demons that you have to be dealt with, they're going to remain, and they're going to be on a continuous sound loop almost, because the way I see them is basically an artificial sound that has been inseminated via the use of chemicals, of drugs, and even legal ones, the ones that are prescribed by a doctor, may contain some of these balancery that is specific to the user. And when those chemicals align in your brain, well, you either become, in a way, activating the demonic, or you're like I like to call them, my angels on all opposites and straightforward spectrum of it. And there's just those people those beings are real. And if you don't believe in angels and demons, or not even in God, because let's face it, I had no absolutely God willing belief in myself. I had lost hope, and I was doing to my body what we're doing to the earth. And then one thing started unlocking and the other thing started happening. But in the whole process, day in and day out, every day for almost 8 months straight, every single day, it was intense psychotherapy. It was psychoanalyst. It was psychotic, just to tag it as friends in high places or voices through the walls. And the things that were told to me, the way that I woken up as Abel from the Bible, and everybody blaming me for everything, because in a way, if Abel was the favorite, he was also God-given chosen son for Jesus Christ. And once he died, the incarnation image, or it's mostly frequency, high energy frequency that just engulfs you, and you can feel that they're there for a purpose. And if they're demonic sides, then you have to question them. And if the angels are playing the bad role, you have to be able to question your reality and to question them, because shifting realities and embracing theirs as your own reality gives them more power, and they think that they will be in control of you. So staying grounded and I'm saying embracing the unknown and the reality of a conscious subconscious. So basically they're telling you information or something, and you bounce it back and you entertain it, and you play the role that is meant for whatever the entertainment value was. And if it goes in a negative light, then embrace it. If it goes in a positive light, if it goes in a spiritual light, if it goes into a learning light, the pursuit of a higher education, if you inform yourself and you choose right just at the wrong time, doesn't mean that you're incorrect. It just means that the correct future of that concept is still out and about. So there's never really a conclusion to any of this. There's just rewriting it and drafting it and then rewriting the draft and then making sense of it all, and then you rewrite it into another draft, and then it's closer to a finished product than when you started. And it doesn't matter if you still have 200 days of realizing what your inner demons and your inner moral dilemmas, because you have to spiritually be aligned. Your compass has to be represented and pointing due north. And if you have some of these fundamental tendencies to get drunk on power, psychotherapied into drugs, or chemically induce indulgency through drugs and being an ex-drug addict, I can talk from experience because I'm living it. I live it every single day. Every time that I look at the clock, it moves backwards instead of forward, and the days are long but the years are short. And if you think that in a blink of an eye you miss what really truly counts, your physical life in this physical time is all that really truly matters. Because if you believe that the physical form, the physical human body, is the optimal form, and if that's the most extensive belief that you have, that there's no afterlife, when you die, that's your opinion. And I tend to believe in the latter, which is quite obvious after doing 500 hours for Grand Theft Auto and making a surreality for them, and the map expanding on its own, manifesting my own personal memories onto the screen, and literally saving game after game, so they have altered versions of it, and everything was meant for them to stay in the box and to be hidden. And that was kind of me being squared and right angled to make a full circle and to stay true. Because if you don't give somebody a chance, if you don't think somebody's worth even living, then who are you to convince yourself that life isn't worth it? Life is so precious. And if you find something, and if you think humor is something, well, like I said, I'm new at this vlog and I'm kind of in a phone box right now, phone booth, and I can't really decide if I should continue doing this type of video, or it should only be outside representing the nature aspect of it and my day-to-day. That's what I'm leading up to, and I'm trying to get more comfortable, more articulate, and more having a back and forth feedback with myself, so to speak. Because if we're a version of ourselves in this present time, then once you are watching this, it's not going to be the same time than when I recorded. So there's things that if you want to pay attention, or it resonates really with you, I'll be posting more and more. And if you guys do like, I got my first comment yesterday, which was really, really excited. It was 4 flames, fire. And I appreciate it, and slowly but surely the views are still going up slowly, and that's something that I expected, not as much as I thought. Because in all realistic, no views and no comments and no likes is virtually impossible. But if you are the one watching your videos and the one that's commenting on it, then in one way, shape, and form, this is meant for you. And I'm not talking to myself, I'm talking to you specifically, because if you're curious to know what the Illuminati is, then in all residents of the spirituality, expect the one of being incarnated by Jesus Christ and whoever your kindred spirit is. Then those meaning have a sense. And if you are thinking about, okay, why am I depressed? Why am I overworked? Why is life so overwhelming over nothing? Well, you need to take a break of doing whatever you are and go back to your roots, touch back with home base. And if home base is you going on a bender and fucking falling off the wagon like there's no tomorrow, then go right ahead. You're still gonna be capable of making it through another day. And if things like that were meant as is, then that's all I want, for my word to be taken as literally as it is. And In no way, shape, or form have I exaggerated. If anything, it's undersold by so many misconcepted thoughts of a young kid who just wanted to fit in. So, by literally risking my life and putting myself to the task, I went in pursuit of a higher education. I created a syllabus, and being a college dropout, well, I continued on that general realm of pursuing physics and mathematics, astrology, zoology, and to be able to stay true to what is astronomically unicized as our planet. Well, our ancestors come from the constellations of the stars, and it's a star map to where we all come. So if you have a certain je ne sais quoi and you think you want to meet your ancestors, by all means ask, comment, and there's no bad comments. There's just lack of viewing, and if it resonates many years after that you guys don't see it and it affecting you, I'm still gonna personally take all the comments in, and if you think I'm a whack job, then so be it. I don't really care what your opinion is. I want to be able to help you in any way, shape, or form, or to those who want to be entertained, to be tamed, and those that want to really find out more about themselves, then by all means, I'm going through the list of my videos that I posted after 2 years of journaling, and those videos will be elaborated with context and fully develop into something. So I'm still a newbie at all this, and it is kind of heartwarming to be able to share my experience and to be able to express myself more and more bluntly and literally, more than physically, figurative, and metaphorically. FML, figurative, metaphoric, and literal. And my sight, my perception, my vision is all for the purpose of helping other people, because if my mental health has been questioned during this video and throughout the others, there's a difference of energy, because it's all in the true respect of what is bigger than life itself, and that's the genesis of thought, and that's the resonance of what true Illuminati mentality represents. And every generation, they choose certain people, certain special individuals to design, to prize, to conjure, to sabotage, to conspire, to all the max emotional depth of every single situation, and metaphoric missions and mental sharpening of the mind. And those are the things that I really miss with my friends in high places, because in a way, if those people finally graduated from class A to class B, second year of college, basically, it's you're getting a PhD, and if you can't write a doctorate on any of your subjects, then what are you doing to be a doctor in the first place? And that's hypothetical, and that's mystical too. If you read between the lines, some of the things are vague on purpose. Some of the things wave in because they hit you like a tidal wave. And if you know French, vague means a wave in English. And I will probably resume the French part of it too, because I feel a lot of context has to be given to some of the newly videotized, and every day I wake up with a better expressive mental awareness of how to express myself without coming off as a crazy person, but without context lacks subsequent attention. It's not a derivative. It's literally, how can I stay entertained if he's just talking about things that are so true and down to earth, but it doesn't impact me in my current state? Well, if you give it a chance, these videos will open up a door in any way, shape, and form, and you'll realize, okay, it could be as little as a coincidence, then as big as a synchronized pulse, as a collective consciousness, as a God sent being coming from the stars, you seeing orbs, you hearing voices through the walls, you seeing demonic entities, you having a guardian angel, your life flashing before your eyes, your need to know who you are and having nowhere to fit in. Well, this is exactly who my audience will be and should be and have been. And slowly but surely, one mind at a time can be altered. But if you do it as a collective and you push the movement through and not have extremist geopolitical irrationalities or anything that goes to a new world order, and that's just a backwards hat on a forward thinking world, because if you put the baseball cap face forward and you're a conductor of that train, then it's still backwards. It's New World Order is OWN, OWN, our world now. And that's all it is. Everything is forward and backwards, backwards and forward, side to side, and everything has three meanings to it in a one figurative sense, and literally should be taken to face value. Because if it resonates with you this time and then you rewatch this video and it resonates even more the second time, and then you forget about it, and then you rewatch this video because, oh yeah, I remember it like this, and then you're like, oh crap, there's what he meant with no context, and then boom, it just resonates, and it's like, holy crap, I just decoded the last month and a half of struggle of personal mental health awareness, or something like, okay, well, if I'm down in the blues and I've seen this video, and well, maybe this kid's doing all right, let's see if he's posted more videos. Is this going to be a one-off thing? I highly doubt it, because in a way this is better than me writing in my journal and then recording over of my voice through, the first 100 videos. So me being more and more articulate in front of the camera and trying to elaborate the thought process and the genesis of life itself through just hypothetical scenarios and hypothetical missions, so to speak, and they should never, ever involve you risking your own physical being or deceiving other physical beings in any way, shape, or form. This should be mental exercise to keep your mind sharp and on point, and your astral realms, so to speak, your astral projection, and your divine psychic abilities, those should be harnessed and mastered, and telekinesis and telecommunication ways of transporting through just a wink, basically, through instantaneous superpositioning at a quantum level. It's just crazy to think we are all exactly the same carbon-based life, and everything that is all matter, everything that isn't also matters, because it's a negative opposite, so to speak. And if you flip that and shift a reality, which is, who knows how far down the rabbit hole you've been going, and who knows if it's ever going to stop. I know I will never stop. And if you shift their reality to fit yours and the physical beings, you will see it manifest in real physical form. Because if you're capable of putting everything lined up and squared away and nicely tucked into a right angle using your compass, those are things that I would love to pursue and film and give you my road to the Illuminati. And this is something that has always come back time in and time in, to pursue a secret society or a fraternity of brotherhood of like-minded individuals. And let's say in a Freemasons, they have other secluded groups within. Maybe I can fit better and have the physical copy of it, because when you spend a lot of time with somebody, your personality traits get adjusted in retrospect to theirs. And let's say I see somebody walking a certain way day in, day out, and week in, week out, and month in, month out. And then all of a sudden I get up and I start walking exactly like that person? Or is it just a thought of walking exactly like that person? How can that physical trait be manifested into this physical reality if it's only, you can't really see personality? You could hear it, you could feel it, you could sense it, but you can't really see it. So how can a physical trait, a physical personality trait, also be weaponized or just used? So you basically feed off other people's misconception of personalities, or they're just really mentally sick and their traits are affecting you in the following ways. Or somebody in your circle, it says to keep your enemies, your friends close and your enemies closer. Well, in a perfect world, we're all enemies and friends at the same time. So does it mean that, does it exist, or are you just in a wrong circle? And or should you make your circle bigger to include others in it? Or is it supposed to be just for the select few that go through the rabbit hole phasing, goes through the missionary means of pursuing what you believe is power, influence, and knowledge? And the more you're open to it, the more you embrace the unknown, the more you'll be able to realize how grounding this conversation is. I know it's a long video, but in all fairness, some of these times have to be said. And if you guys think of it as a conscious way to fall asleep and listening to somebody speak, like I had one of my friends in here, she got out and she is going back to her roots and her spiritualness, and if Morgan is watching, hello. And always seek the light, because in a dark world there's always light, because it wouldn't be dark in the first place. And casting somebody's shadow is seeing it through that shadow and not your own. So seek the light, and in the darkness, never give up. So this was vlog 13. This is a very long episode, so I hope all of you have remained in tune, and if you haven't, then no harm. And if you have and want to question, I have absolutely no problem sharing my email, or if you want to leave a comment and ask me to context some of the things, or if you think this is all bullshit, then hey, bullshit above. It's still used as a fertilizer, and a fertilizer can feed a field of billions of mouths. So that was kind of backwards, but you get it. In the gist of it all, thank you for watching. Peace.